In the abandoned tower of Blackmore Castle, Brother Edmund discovered something that would haunt his dreams forever. Hidden beneath centuries of dust and decay lay the workshop of Master Cornelius, the royal alchemist who had served 7 kings across 4 decades. Among the shattered glass and rusted equipment, one book remained intact, his formula journal. The first page bore a chilling inscription: "In pursuit of eternal life, I have perfected eternal death." What followed were 40 years of meticulous records, showing how every king who drank his immortality elixir had died. The discovery came during the spring cleaning of 1753, when Brother Edmund was tasked with cataloging the contents of Blackmore Castle's sealed eastern tower. The room had been locked since 1453, when Master Cornelius vanished along with the last king of the Blackmore dynasty. 3 centuries of dust coated everything like a burial shroud, but the alchemist's workshop remained exactly as he had left it that final night. Glass vessels lined the walls, each bearing a faded label with a king's name and a date. Apparatus for distillation stood frozen in time, their copper pipes green with age. But it was the leather-bound journal, sitting open on the central workbench, that would reveal the true horror of what had transpired within these walls. From the formula book of Master Cornelius, Entry 1, January 3, 1413. Today I begin the greatest work of my life. King Aldwin has commissioned me to discover the secret of immortality, promising unlimited resources and protection from the Church's interference. I have studied the ancient texts of Hermes Trismegistus, the works of Arab alchemists, and the forbidden knowledge preserved in monastery libraries. The philosopher's stone eludes me still, but I believe the path lies through the perfection of the human essence itself. Brother Edmund felt his hands tremble as he read these opening lines. Master Cornelius had been renowned throughout Europe as a brilliant scholar, a man who had advanced the understanding of metallurgy, medicine, and natural philosophy. But the journal revealed an obsession that would consume not only his sanity, but the lives of 7 monarchs. Entry 15, March 20th, 1413. First attempts with mercury and sulfur show promise. The combination creates a silver liquid that remains stable for weeks. When heated with gold and virgin's blood, it produces vapors that seem to slow the aging of laboratory mice. King Aldwin grows impatient, but I must proceed with caution. Immortality achieved too quickly could destroy the very life it seeks to preserve. As Brother Edmund continued reading, he discovered that Master Cornelius had approached immortality like any other alchemical challenge, through systematic experimentation, careful observation, and meticulous record-keeping. But his scientific method masked a growing desperation and an inability to recognize the true effects of his creations. Entry 43, August 12, 1413. Success. The elixir primordialis is complete. A careful blend of mercury, antimony, and various herbs, enhanced with gold dissolved in aqua regia. When consumed, it produces immediate vigor, clarity of mind, and a sense of divine energy. King Aldwin drank the full measure yesterday and declared himself reborn. His skin glows with health, his step is that of a man half his age. I have achieved what no alchemist before me has accomplished. But Brother Edmund knew from court records that King Aldwin had died just 3 months after this entry, his body found in mysterious circumstances that baffled the royal physicians. The journal's next entries revealed Master Cornelius's confusion and denial as his triumph turned to tragedy. Entry 58, November 30th, 1413. King Aldwin's death troubles me greatly. The physicians blame poison, but I know no poison was administered. The elixir worked perfectly. For months, he possessed the vitality of youth. His death must have been caused by external factors, perhaps enemies who feared his newfound power. The formula itself is sound. I must simply perfect the dosage for the next subject. The journal revealed that Master Cornelius had convinced himself that each failure was merely a step toward perfection. When King Aldwin's successor, King Bertrand, agreed to try an improved version of the elixir, Cornelius saw it as an opportunity to refine his work rather than evidence that his approach was fundamentally flawed. Entry 92, April 15th, 1418. The Elixir Secundus incorporates lessons learned from King Aldwin's experience. I have reduced the mercury content and added extracts of mandrake root to stabilize the transformation. King Bertrand consumed the potion during the new moon, as ancient texts suggest this timing enhances the elixir's power. Already he reports dreams of extraordinary clarity and strength that grows daily. Brother Edmund found detailed drawings in the margins showing the chemical apparatus used for each formula. Master Cornelius had been a true scientist in his methodology, but his fundamental assumption that immortality was achievable through chemical means led him down an increasingly dark path. Each improvement to his formula made it more toxic, not less. Entry 134, September 7, 1419. King Bertrand's death after 14 months confirms my theory that the first elixirs work too quickly, burning through the body's essence like fire through dry wood. The solution lies in creating a more gradual transformation. I have developed the elixir tertius, which releases its power slowly over years rather than months. The base remains mercury and gold, but I have added silver, pearl powder and essence of diamonds to provide stability. The journal's entries became increasingly erratic as Master Cornelius descended deeper into his obsession. He began to rationalize each royal death as proof that he was getting closer to the perfect formula. His scientific observations remained precise, but his interpretations grew more distorted with each failure. Entry 201, February 14, 1425. King Charles, the third to try my elixirs, lived 2 full years before the transformation overwhelmed his mortal frame. This represents significant progress. The elixir cordis must extend this period further. I have discovered that unicorn horn, when properly prepared, acts as a stabilizing agent for mercury. True unicorn horn is rare, but I have located a merchant who swears by his supply's authenticity. Brother Edmund realized he was reading the deterioration of a brilliant mind. Master Cornelius had become so invested in his theory of immortality that he couldn't acknowledge the obvious truth. His elixirs were elaborate poisons that killed more efficiently with each iteration. The alchemist's belief in unicorn horn and other mythical ingredients showed how far he had drifted from rational thinking. Entry 278, October 31st, 1431. King David's death after 3 years represents the longest survival yet achieved. The elixir quintus clearly approaches perfection. I have identified the final flaw. The human soul resists immortality because it knows such power belongs to God alone. The solution lies not in stronger chemicals, but in preparing the spirit through sacred rituals. I have begun studying the forbidden rites described in the Black Grimoire. The journal revealed that Master Cornelius had moved beyond chemistry into what he believed was spiritual alchemy. His formulas now incorporated elements of ritual magic, astrological timing, and increasingly dangerous ingredients. Each king's death convinced him that he was on the verge of a breakthrough rather than committing serial murder. Entry 345, June 21st, 1437. King Edward lived 4 years with the elixir sextus, the longest survival yet recorded. His death occurred during a solar eclipse, suggesting cosmic forces interfered with the transformation. The elixir septimus must account for celestial influences. I have calculated the precise planetary alignments necessary for true immortality, a configuration that occurs only once every 847 years. We are fortunate it approaches in just 6 years. Brother Edmund found astronomical charts and calculations filling the margins, showing how Master Cornelius had convinced himself that his failures were due to timing rather than toxicity. The alchemist had become completely detached from reality, seeing patterns and significance in random events while ignoring the obvious cause of each king's death. Entry 412, December 25, 1443. King Francis accepted the elixir septimus on Christmas morning, beneath the perfect celestial alignment I had calculated. For 5 years he possessed strength and wisdom beyond mortal ken. His death yesterday was not failure but transformation. I saw his soul ascend in a pillar of golden light. The formula works, but mortal flesh cannot contain immortal essence. The final elixir must free the spirit entirely from physical limitations. The journal's later entries showed complete dissociation from reality. Master Cornelius described visions, divine revelations and spiritual transformations that existed only in his deteriorating mind. He had become the very definition of mad scientist. Brilliant in technique, but utterly divorced from sanity. Entry 489, March 15, 1449. King Gregory, the seventh and final subject, has been prepared for the ultimate transformation. The elixir Octavis contains not just chemicals but the very essence of immortality itself, extracted through processes revealed to me by angels in dreams. When he drinks this final formula, he will not merely gain eternal life but become a bridge between the mortal and divine realms. All previous deaths were necessary steps toward this moment of triumph. Brother Edmund found the final entries increasingly illegible, written in a shaking hand that suggested either extreme old age or complete mental breakdown. Master Cornelius had spent 40 years perfecting methods of murder while believing he was discovering the secret of eternal life. Entry 506, November 11, 1452. King Gregory died after 7 years, but I witnessed his true transformation. His body may have failed, but his immortal essence joined the others in a realm beyond death. I have succeeded beyond my wildest dreams, not in granting immortality to individual kings, but in creating a dynasty of eternal rulers who govern from the celestial sphere. My work is complete. Final entry, February 28, 1453. The Church comes for me, calling my work heretical and demonic. They cannot understand that I have achieved what Christ himself promised: victory over death itself. I go now to join my 7 immortal kings, confident that history will vindicate my discoveries. This journal remains as testament to the greatest triumph in human history, the conquest of mortality through sacred alchemy. Brother Edmund closed the journal with horror and fascination warring in his heart. Master Cornelius had indeed conquered mortality by systematically murdering 7 kings, while believing he was saving them. The alchemist's final delusion was perhaps the most tragic of all, dying in the belief that he had achieved divinity rather than damnation. The implications of the formula book extended far beyond the Blackmore dynasty. If one brilliant mind could rationalize serial murder as scientific progress, how many other great discoveries throughout history might have been elaborate self-deceptions? How many victims had died at the hands of those who believed they were helping rather than harming? Brother Edmund spent weeks analyzing the chemical formulas recorded in the journal. With 3 centuries of hindsight and advances in natural philosophy, the true nature of Master Cornelius's elixirs became clear. Each one was a sophisticated poison that produced initial euphoria and vitality before causing organ failure, neurological damage, and eventual death. The longer survival times achieved by later formulas simply reflected more gradual poisoning, rather than progress toward immortality. The tragedy was not just the 7 dead kings, but the waste of a brilliant mind. Master Cornelius had possessed genuine talent for chemistry and natural philosophy. Had he applied his skills to healing rather than pursuing impossible dreams, he might have advanced human knowledge significantly. Instead, his obsession with immortality had transformed him into an unknowing serial killer. Brother Edmund faced a dilemma similar to those who had discovered dark secrets before him. The journal provided evidence of horrific crimes, but crimes committed by someone who genuinely believed he was performing miracles. Exposing the truth would destroy the reputation of a man already dead for 3 centuries while potentially discouraging other natural philosophers from pursuing legitimate research. In the end, Brother Edmund chose a middle path. He preserved the journal in the monastery's restricted archives, where it would be available to serious scholars but protected from public scandal. He also wrote a detailed analysis of the chemical formulas, hoping that understanding Master Cornelius's mistakes might prevent similar tragedies in the future. The Journal of Master Cornelius serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked obsession and the ability of brilliant minds to deceive themselves. His 40-year quest for immortality killed 7 kings while convincing him he was achieving the greatest triumph in human history. The most terrifying aspect of his story is not the murders themselves but the sincere belief that motivated them. In our modern age of advanced science and medical research, the techniques described in Master Cornelius's journal seem crude and obviously dangerous. Yet his fundamental error, mistaking correlation for causation, rationalizing failures as progress, and allowing desire to override evidence, remains as relevant today as it was in the 15th century. The formula book reminds us that the most dangerous practitioners of any art are not the deliberately malicious but those who combine great skill with self-deception. Master Cornelius killed more efficiently than any assassin, not despite his good intentions, but because of them. His legacy warns us that the road to hell is indeed paved with good intentions, and sometimes with meticulously recorded formulas for disaster disguised as triumph. The abandoned tower of Blackmore Castle stands empty now, its glass vessels silent witnesses to 4 decades of systematic murder disguised as scientific progress. But the journal remains, a testament to humanity's capacity for both brilliance and blindness, often existing in the same remarkable mind.